Where's the remote control? Where's the fucking remote control? Okay, that was the test run.
Hey, and we're live, ladies, gents, boys, girls, all you ghouls and ghosts. This is the third edition of Bracket Battles. We talked about the 90s not that long ago here on the channel. Now we're talking about the 2000s horror films that were released here, 32 of them anyway. I'm joined here by a great panel tonight. You may know him from Why We Love Horror. You may know him from your backyard creeping at you. It's Calamity John Marr.
I'm not in your backyard. That would require me to leave my house. I don't do that shit. I'm doing good, JPO. How you doing?
I'm doing just dandy. Appreciate you asking. Up next, you may know him as the former, Toxic Crusader champion. Did I say that right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, there you go. I got that right. Steve Mesa.
What's going on, gentlemen? I am looking forward to talking about 2004 flicks. I got off a great weekend at Nightmare Weekend in Miami. Lowly attended, but had a great weekend. Hosted a couple panels too. Led a wrestling conga line. Who would have thought I'd do that this weekend? So,
Ooh, nice. Check that off the bucket list. Up next, he's been in this game for last 2.5 minutes. He's in this now. Brandon, how you doing?
I'm doing good, JPO. Wrestling Congo line sounds pretty fun. I'm excited. This is my debut doing this show for you guys, so I'm excited. I love 2000s horror, so let's go. It's been fun.
Yeah, sounds good. Last but certainly not least, it's another prick, Eric Ibarra. Moreno, how are you?
I'm doing good, even though I hate 2000s horror, but I'm happy to be here.
Well, too bad, because we're talking about nothing but the 2000s horror films. As said, I'm going to plop up. We'll see it here in a second. Thanks to John Marr for sending me an ad blocker, so this should actually go smoother than last time. I have to keep clicking out the ads. Final Destination, that is the first one here. You see Kevin Sawa plastered in the middle. And Orphan. We'll start at the bottom here. Brandon, between these two, what's your fave?
Oh, man. Dude, between the two of them, I love the premise of both of these movies. I really do. But there is something about Orphan that just got under my skin. So I'm giving that a slight leg up over Final Destination.
Orphan gets the first vote. Eric.
I like both these movies are around the same. I think Orphan has the better performance between those two, with the lead character, Isabel Foreman. But I go back to the Final Destination franchise a lot more, so I'll probably go with that one. But both of these are good.
Steve, tied game, untie it.
Both of these are good movies, but I'm going to Final Destination because I think while the first movie set up the second movie, which has the log scene, which will forever be a warning for anybody who wants to drive behind a truck like that. So if that movie hadn't set up that sort of zeitgeist, I don't think we still be behind trucks, and probably one of those accidents will be happening more times than we would want to. So I'm going to Final Destination.
I think we've all been on the highway and gone, let me get over this next lane, get the fuck out of the way of that truck. John.
I also enjoy both of these movies, but only one of them has Sean William Scott, so I got to go with Final Destination.
Yeah, he loses his head a little bit in that movie, doesn't he? Zoinks. It's a good round one, first round. Of course, these are all just kind of randomized, so you may see two relatively compared shitty movies. You can see two great bangers going against each other. You never know what you're going to get in round one. Orphan's pretty cool, unique tale, but speaking of just a great premise, it's death. It's not a guy in a mask. It's not, an unstoppable killer. It's literally death coming at you. And I love the kind of, what is it, like Rue Gerber, or however you say it, like the different kind of
Goldberg.
Rube Goldberg. There you go. Oh, shit, how could I forget Goldberg of all people? I love the way it gets set up. It's a great premise. We're still looking forward to the next one here. So Final Destination does move on to some love shown for Orphan, The Descent, and the others. Eric.
Oh yeah. I just saw The Descent this past weekend, and I thought it was pretty fine. Like, it was decent. But the others is great. I love that movie ever since I saw it on cable, like when I was 8 years old, probably. Just a great atmosphere in that movie. I'll go for the others.
All right, I got both of the other Steve.
I did. I mean, the other was definitely something that was talked about when I was in high school. Everybody like, oh, did you get check out the twist? Did you see what happened to the twist? Whatever. And this was, what? This was like 2 years after Sixth Sense, so. But I didn't get it. But I think if we have to have a Neil Marshall film on this movie, and we're talking about 2000s, and The Descent is a fucking crazy claustrophobic movie that just runs chills down my spine every time I see it. Especially the opening sequence. I mean, it just hits you. I mean, literally hits you right there in like many body parts. So I'm going with the Descent.
All right, John.
Yeah, we always got to go back to movies that are like basically original when they come out, and I think only one of these movies matches that description. I still get freaked out by The Descent, so I got to go with The Descent.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with The Descent as well. I do enjoy things from the others here. I think a really good leading performance here. The Descent is the one I will go back to. It's the one that, like I think Steve said it, is claustrophobic. You kind of feel it, even though you're in an open room, probably watching it. You can still feel it. Brennan.
It's so funny. I remember watching the others in theaters with my mom and my little brother, and I remember being so freaked out by that ending. And I remember watching that DVD over and over and over. And I didn't actually watch The Descent until a couple years ago. And as much as I loved the others, and much as I grew up with it, I have to go with The Descent because that movie got to me on a whole other level. And that movie still resonates with me far more than the others does.
Descent. Moving on. We got The Ring, that is Naomi Watts, the U.S. version, and the third Scream 3, Steve Mesa.
As much as I love Scream 3, I can't really take. I think I had a much better and more scared experience watching The Ring because this was the first time I've ever been exposed to something that was based on a J horror film. And I mean, we're talking about opening sequences of Descent. I mean, this has probably one of the best opening sequences in horror film, probably with The Ring. Just having Amber Tamberlin and I don't know who else it was. Just talking about the tape, and then just shit starts happening. And Naomi Watts just fucking probably delivers one of the best horror performances of all time in this film as Rachel. So I'm going with The Ring on this one.
Well, I cannot give you the point. It's just Amber Tamlin, not Tamberlin. No points for Steve. John.
Yeah, good thing you put The Ring up against probably the worst Scream movie because that makes it a lot easier to vote for The Ring. They didn't need to remake Ringu though. I'm on record. They didn't need to remake that. They should have just released Ringu in America. But I've been married to my wife for 21 years this year, and our first date was The Ring. So I'm going to say The Ring.
I'm gonna disagree that they didn't need to remake it. I think they did a really good job with this remake here. I think it's a really good flick here. The Ring. I think it works pretty well. I do have a lot of fun with Scream 3 though. I don't think it's the worst. I think 4 in that second and third act it kind of loses me a lot more than Scream 3, which I think it just stays kind of continually fun. Even the final act I think is more fun. So I do have some love for Scream 3. This was actually kind of tight. I'll leave some hope for Scream 3. I'll give a potential pity vote to Scream 3. Ring is still in the lead though, but we'll see. Brennan.
So, of course, you got to put these two together. All right. Anybody who knows me knows that I'm a Scream fan in my veins. I've participated in many Scream trivia stuff. It is my franchise. That being said, The Ring, the scene that gets it for me for The Ring is actually the scene where Samara is being interviewed by the doctors, and she's just sitting there in the white room, and you barely see her face. And the fact that that's Devay Chase, who voiced Lilo from Lilo and Stitch, just makes it all the more better. I have to go with The Ring over Scream 3. Sorry, Sydney. Sorry, Wes Craven. Sorry, Scream fans. It's The Ring for me for this one.
Understandable. Eric?
Yeah, I'm of the belief that there's no such thing as a bad Scream movie, but Scream 3 to me is the closest one. To me, it's too censored. Probably the voice box still pisses me off. The Ring, it's ruined for me because of Scary Movie 3. I saw Scary Movie 3 before I ever saw The Ring, so I I always laugh while watching The Ring, just because of that movie. I'll still go for The Ring. I'm a big fan of Gore Verbinski, probably the better horror exclusively movie out of these two. So The Ring also gets my vote.
Ring does indeed move on. Yeah, the right film probably moved on. I'm not going to fight it. The Mist against Paranormal Activity. There we go. Alrighty, where are we at, John?
Yeah. I love Stephen King. I think The Mist is a great novella. There's actually an audio play of it that's superior to anything I've ever seen. However, I think Paranormal Activity, for as basic as it is incredibly influential. I think Paranormal Activity, as far as found footage goes, may on some level be more influential than Blair Witch. I'm not sure. I'm willing to debate that. But I'm going to go Paranormal Activity.
All right, Paranormal gets one. Brennan.
I got to go with Paranormal Activity too. I loved The Mist as well. I remember when Paranormal Activity was getting its expansion, I was actually the only one in my theater when I went to go watch it in theaters, so that was great. But there's just something about that first Paranormal Activity, like John said, it was made for, next to nothing, and what they did with that was amazing. It really set the trend for the rest of the found footage genre, which I'm not sure if it's actually still a thing right now, but yeah, Paranormal Activity.
Eric.
Yeah, I saw the Paranormal Activity movies for the first time this year, and only one of them is good, and it's not this one. I wouldn't disagree. I wouldn't disagree with the influence it had. Like, it's probably more influential than the Blair Witch Project, because a lot of more found footage movies came after it. But I just don't like the characters at all. I don't think it's that scary. Personally, because I didn't saw it in theaters. I mean, that's probably why I don't find it scary. But it's just too boring for me. I only like one of those. The Mist I like a lot. I don't love it as much as other people do, but I do like The Mist. So I'll go for The Mist.
Steve.
I'm going with The Mist on this one. Saw this movie at Regal Oakwood 18 on a Thursday night at a preview, and this was a packed house, and everybody was gasping and guhawing, and just especially with the damn ending. Everybody was just like crestfallen. Like, I have never seen a whole mass of people so fucking depressed in my life walking out of the theater till that night. And you also have Thomas Jane, Andre Broward, William Sadler, and fucking Marsha Gay Harding delivering a powerhouse performance. So I'm going with The Mist.
I just realized I skipped myself, didn't I? I never talked, did I? Yeah, that was weird. Oops. So we're tied, actually, so I do get to break this tie. I have a lot of respect for Paranormal Activity. I'm always a fan of, like, championing, a smaller film. In fact, I championed it pretty early on. I'm on the original DVD credits. If you pause and zoom in, I'm one of the 1,000 other people that, like, helped support it in, like, its early days.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, I am on the DVD credits. I'm probably going to vote for The Mist. The movie didn't do much for me, and the sequels aren't very good, so I almost don't know if I want to champion what it did do in the otherwise here too. And I'm always going to kind of just support, like, really good performances too, from Marsha Gay Harden to Tommy Jane. So
Right.
We go The Mist here. Ekes it out though. That was a close one. Oh, I'm skipping stuff. First I'm going slow, then I'm going fast. Hannibal, 28 Days Later. I'll go first here. Hannibal has a couple cool eeky moments here, but also has some kind of weird script decisions here as well. One of my favorite SNL jokes is Jodie Foster read the script, Julianne Moore read the check. So I'll go 28 Days Later here. I don't know if we have Walking Dead without it here. Cillian Murphy, the opening sequence is great. Always, and it just keeps a really good tone throughout it. I'm really looking forward to if Danny Boyle does indeed come back for the third one. Would be pretty sweet. Brennan.
I'm going with 28 Days Later as well. I remember I didn't see a whole lot of zombie movies when this movie came around. I can't remember if this was before or after the Zack Snyder Dawn of the Dead, to be honest. But I think it was in that same year or so. In any case, Dawn of the Dead was first horror zombie that I remember watching, and this one was right after. And I just had a whole lot of love and respect for this movie, and Danny Boyle's best, and Cillian Murphy's the best. I hope they come back for round 3.
Yeah, I was trying to look up. Yeah, so this about a year before. This is 03. It looks
Okay.
like.
I
And,
knew it
Dawn's
was
04.
like in the same year.
No, I had to look it up myself. Yeah, no, it's very close, very close. Eric.
Yeah, Silence of the Lambs is one of my favorite horror movies ever, but I never bothered to watch Hannibal. I just heard it was a worse version of that.
Just don't.
Much worse. And Hannibal Rising is much worse. I've seen that somehow, but I still won't see it until a while. 28 Days Later is much more influential, probably a better movie, like definitely a better movie. Even haven't seen Hannibal, I'll go 28 Days Later.
All right, Steve, doesn't matter, but we like to hear everybody out. So what you got?
I mean, 28 Days Later gave us pretty much the first case of running zombies. Well, technically, not zombies, infected and all that stuff. Because then they're not zombies, they're infected, whatever. They're fucking zombies. Just say it. Naomi Harris, also Brendan Gleeson. I mean, that's
right.
That's the first time I've ever watched Brendan Gleeson and then would watch him in other movies. Oh, that's that guy from 28 Days Later. And I would see him obviously do much more better things. Also, it is coming out. It's in post-production. It is being directed by Danny Boyle 28 years later.
Yep.
Oh, it's in post?
Yeah, 2025.
I didn't know it was in post. That's awesome.
I thought it was in pre. So cool. No, that's fantastic to hear. I'm down for that in many ways. Yeah, and as a fat, slow person, fast zombies. Oh, fuck that. Oh, what a nightmare. If I read that, if I see that on the news, I'm just grabbing a gun right there. And John, what you got?
Yeah, definitely. I'm happy to see a fast zombie movie. I mean, 28 Days Later freaked me out because that's not how zombies were supposed to move. So I love that's influential. We're kind of right about Hannibal just not being Silence of the Lambs. It's just like a version of Silence of the Lambs, and it's whatever. I do like to see Ray Liotta get fed his own brain, though. That was fun. But aside from that,
there's a couple gnarly moments.
28 Days Later is a superior movie on every level.
Yeah, so not much left for Hannibal there. We got Ginger Snaps, Zombieland. That's an interesting pairing there. Back down to Bond and Brennan.
I have to go with Zombieland. Ginger Snaps was an awesome movie, and there aren't a whole lot of werewolf movies I've seen before. Spoiler alert. But Zombieland just hit all the right notes for me. Solid cast, great zombie effects. It wasn't a whole lot of horror per se, but I loved the overall vibe and the chemistry between all the actors and the story and everything. It was just a perfect mix of chaos, and I had a blast with it.
Yes, it might not be the last horror comedy we see tonight, Eric.
I don't have many hot takes in me, but I'm always I don't like Zombieland that much. I think it's good, but I don't think it's that good. I don't like the characters that much. I think the narration overstays its welcome. I don't like Jesse Eisenberg in this movie particularly. Ginger Snaps I saw for the first time this year, a couple weeks ago probably. Thought it was pretty fun. Like, it's not that much better than Zombieland, but it's a lot more fun probably for me personally. So I'll go Ginger Snaps.
All righty, Steve.
I mean, I think you're putting it up against two both equally great movies, in my opinion. I mean, I interviewed Jason Eisenberg, Woody Harrelson, and Abigail Breslin for Zombieland. I interviewed the director, but I really think we need a werewolf movie in here, and I don't think there's a better representation of werewolf movie than. I love that. Yes. I
it's coming at least once an episode.
I have to. I think Ginger Snaps is probably one of the best werewolf movies I've seen. I mean, it's not in like the top tier, but it's pretty good. It has great performances, especially for Emily Perkins and Catherine Isabel. They delivered probably one of the best sibling performances I've seen in horror. So I'm going with Ginger Snaps on this one.
Hey, Catherine Isabel from the great movie Domestic Disturbance, right, John? What you got?
It was disturbing behavior.
Shit! I mentioned the John Travolta movie. What was I doing?
Yeah, I don't know if she's in Domestic Disturbance. She might be in the background somewhere.
Probably not.
I sympathize with just people trying to make werewolf movies in general because it's so hard. I mean, I've seen some shitty werewolf movies. They're so hard to make good werewolf movies. And Ginger Snaps is probably one of the best werewolf movies, though. Zombieland is, I think, borderline iconic, though. I'm probably going to go Zombieland, but I will give my daughter a copy of Ginger Snaps when she gets her period. Definitely. That's happening.
Good to know. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Zombieland. I gotta watch Ginger Snaps probably the next couple of weeks. So Zombieland will get it from me.
Ginger Snaps is good still.
Guys, that's
No,
basically what Ginger
that's
Snaps
close.
is about.
That was another close one here. And speaking of the ones that could be close, Trick or Treat and Saw. That is the first Saw. Steve. I'm not Steve. Eric. I lied.
Yeah, I saw Trick or Treat yesterday for the first time. I hadn't seen it.
Hey,
It's a lot of fun. Yeah, very short. I can see myself watching it every year. I do like the first Saw movie. I don't love it as much as Henry does, but
No one
like
does.
for
Impossible.
yeah,
Tobin Bell doesn't like it as much as Henry.
yeah. I give it to Trick or Treat. I probably watch it a lot more. I like Saw as much as Trick or Treat, but I don't know. Trick or Treat. Why not?
A moment of silence for Henry. All right, Steve.
I'm probably gonna go with Saw. I mean, I really did enjoy the first movie. I mean, not as much as Henry enjoyed it, but pretty close, pretty close. And it's still the ending still stays with me, even for 20 years later. It still stays with me, and has created a genre onto itself for many films like it to come, and to also come back to it again. Almost like 19 years later with Saw 10, to have that in between Saw 1 and 2. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Saw.
All right, John.
I think we'll go 3 for 3 with I don't enjoy Saw as much as Henry. But I would say I do like Saw a lot though. But Trick or Treat is probably a top 3 anthology movie of all time. So I'm gonna go Trick or Treat.
This is a tough one. This is legitimately, as far as neither one of them's like a 5-star. I don't like Saw as much as Henry, but they're both really solid 4s. Where I'm I respect both of them a lot. I wish Trick or Treat had the following or the money Saw did, because I would have loved to have seen the follow-ups to that. I think there's hope probably, because it's anthology, so you really could pick it up any year you want. I'm gonna tie it up. Leave it up to you, Brandon. I'm gonna say Trick or Treat.
All right, so
You just put 3-1.
I love the Saw franchise.
I thought they said Saw.
What?
No, Eric, didn't you say Trick or Treat? Yeah.
Yeah,
I wasn't paying attention. Brandon, it's not up to you, but I still want to hear your opinion.
Okay. I love the Saw franchise, and the first Saw was actually my favorite one up until Saw X came out. I love the franchise. I love what it's done for the horror genre, and that ending, like was mentioned before, that ending is iconic. But I have to give it to Trick or Treat. There's just something so cool about the anthology, and honestly, Trick or Treat was probably the first anthology horror film that I ever watched. So it really just holds a special place in my heart. I actually saw it in theaters a couple years ago when they re-released it for Halloween a couple years ago, so I thought that was really cool. And Anna Paquin is a werewolf. Come on.
Could you possibly think of somebody who likes Saw more than you, Brandon?
Yeah, probably Henry.
Okay.
There you go. Okay.
Just gonna put that out there. Yes, Henry loves
John got to that joke before I could get to that joke. Alrighty, Drag Me to Hell and Shaun of the Dead.
Me?
Who's up, Steve?
I think it's me.
Yeah, I was asking you guys who was paying attention. Yeah, Steve.
I'm going with Shaun of the Dead. This is actually my number one. So this is my favorite movie. This is my favorite horror movie of the decade. I mean, it's the funniest. It has I haven't seen a funnier zombie movie since cause I never saw Return of the Living Dead, and that shit was fucking hilarious too. So before that, I haven't laughed that hard watching Return of the Living Dead at a zombie movie since Shaun of the Dead. So I mean, Simon Pegg, Nick Frost, Edgar Wright at the helm. This is his first feature-length film, and he would go on to make a career out of doing, make fun of British movies in Last Night in Soho, World's End, Wicker Man, Hot Fuzz, do all this type of tributes with different types of cinematic, flares to him. So I'm definitely going with Shaun of the Dead.
John.
My lukewarm take is that Shaun of the Dead might be one of the most overrated movies of all time. It's still really good. It's still really good, yet somehow it's overrated because everyone everyone just goes berserk over that movie. It is better than Drag Me to Hell, though, so I will give it that.
Sounds like me and Across the Spider-Verse. Like, it's really good, but calm down, people.
Yeah, exactly.
With that being said, Shaun of the Dead's great. What are you talking about, John? No, yeah, Drag Me to Hell. Well, it's actually a really good, more. I don't want to say simple, but like just a really good, girl getting jinxed and having to try to fight back the spirits and whatnot. So it's good. Well
Justin
done
Long
by
doesn't
Raimi.
die in that movie. It's crazy.
No, he doesn't.
Well, spoilers. Spoilers.
He doesn't.
But yeah, Shaun of the Dead is instantly rewatchable. Somehow it's gotten better over time for me, and so I got to go Shaun of the Dead as well. Brandon.
I remember upon initial watch and being a Sam Raimi fan, I was actually disappointed with Drag Me to Hell, and not because of the ending, but just because I felt like it was building up to something, and I felt like it never paid off. That's just my hot take. I know probably a lot of people don't agree with me. So I'm definitely going with Shaun of the Dead. It's iconic, and I'm kind of with John where maybe I don't love it as much as other people do, but it's has rewatchability, like you mentioned, GPO. So I'm going with Shaun of the Dead.
You guys are crazy. Eric.
Yeah, I'm probably one of those people that overrates Shaun of the Dead, but I just love that movie. I think it's a lot of fun. Probably my favorite horror comedy. Probably my favorite zombie movie ever. It's just a lot of fun. That's why I probably don't like Zombieland as much. I always compare it to Shaun of the Dead, and even though Zombieland is probably cooler, more American, Shaun of the Dead just gets me. Drag Me to Hell is a lot of fun. Every movie with a talking goat, like I love, but I gotta go for Shaun of the Dead.
Shaun of the Dead moves on. Up next. Oh, we done round one, not round one, but bracket, left side bracket.
In less than half an hour. That's great.
Yeah,
That's how you do it. Other channels that do this, that is how you do it, guys. Oh my!
Hold on, I'm still getting used to like this is my. Hold on.
That's probably karma for talking shit about the other channels.
I
And
feel so
JPL
good.
didn't do it, but
I feel
still.
Hey,
so
no, as
betrayed.
long as we finish in the next 5 hours, we're way under time.
I feel so betrayed. I didn't pick the only Scream movie in the 2000s. When
Yeah,
I
it's
went
the
up
only
against
one,
The
yeah.
Ring, and I was like, oh man, The Ring is just so much better than Scream 3.
There's only a couple movies on this list that are worse than Scream 3, probably, to be honest.
Yeah, no, there are.
But it's a good list. We'll see in the other half.
Like I said, if it was any other movie, I would pick Scream 3. But The Ring, I still have nightmares about Samara Morgan. Crazy ass bitch.
I only picture her like being held by Regina Hall's character in Scary Movie 3. I just think it's scary by Samara.
Right.
It's just goofy. Yeah.
I'm getting there.
I love at the end when she turns all like nice at the end of Scary Movie 3. She's like, "Oh, thank you. Your lip is healed me, really?" Nah.
No.
I'm just screwed with you. Yeah, I like Scary Movie 3 a lot. That was funny.
Like last time I saw Scary Movie 3, I just had watched the same couple months. I saw Signs and 8 Mile, and I just thought it was the most fun out of the Scary
probably
movie.
hit the sweet spot there. Yeah.
Yeah.
We got Texas Chainsaw Massacre and American Psycho. John.
So I assume this is Texas 2003 then versus American
Yes.
Psycho. All right. Big book guy myself. I am a huge fan of Bret Easton Ellis in general. I don't know if necessarily American Psycho is the best adaptation of that book, but it is a better movie than Texas Chainsaw 03. So I'm going to go American Psycho.
Alrighty. Yeah, I think I might not always go for it here because I definitely have my problems with it. But Christian Bale has given just a fantastic leading performance here. So a performance I can really get some into will sometimes win it over for me. So American Psycho for me. Brandon.
I have to actually go with Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That was the first rated R movie that me and my friends went to in high school, and so it has a soft spot for me. It's not as good as the original, but I thought it was an actual decent remake compared. As I love American Psycho, I love Christian Bale, but I gotta go with Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Right on, Eric.
Yeah, out of the remakes directed by music video directors, I think this is one of the better ones. Like Texas Chainsaw is solid. I love the look of it. Obviously, it's not near as good as the original one, but I still got to go with American Psycho. I also read the book. I wrote an essay on it for high school,
Nice.
I like the movie a little bit better, but mostly because it's a lot shorter to get through. But I do like the book. I'll go for American Psycho.
Steve.
I'm going to American Psycho. I still think this is Christian Bale's best performance ever. He has delivered great performances, and I don't think he has surpassed that of American Psycho.
Dang.
American Psycho. Here's a fun one. Who do you guys like better, House of Wax or the Rob Zombie Halloween?
Boy.
Is this me first?
Yeah.
Honestly, House of Wax. Maybe this is the fact that I just really am irked by some of the decisions Rob Zombie makes, including with my Halloween franchise, and the fact that I think House of Wax, while not great, was actually in a way underrated, and it's just kind of a decent, watch enough, and it has a good climatic ending. I'm kind of okay with it. So House of Wax will get my vote here. And I don't hear beepings. What's the beeps that I'm hearing?
Yeah, I hear it too.
It's my stupid son.
Oh, okay.
Emma John. Brennan?
Oh, me. Yeah, this is a no-brainer. It has to be House of Wax. And I'm trying not to let my disdain for Halloween Rob Zombie bleed into here, but I remember actually enjoying House of Wax a lot when I watched it, as opposed to the first time I watched Halloween Rob Zombie. I was like, what is this? So House of Wax. And yeah, it's because Paris Hilton gets speared through. That was like the best part of the movie.
Yeah, and she's perfectly casted too.
She is, yeah, she's the bimbo.
I think I only ever seen the Paris Hilton scene in House of Wax. I don't think I ever seen it fully, but I'm on probably a small not small. A lot of people do like the Rob Zombie's Halloween movies, and I do like both of them.
Don't say a lot.
I know they are, like very hard to get through, especially with some of the characters and the dialogue and all that. But some movies should be hard to get through, and I can appreciate what it goes for, even if it's not my favorite Halloween never probably. I'll go Halloween.
All right, Steve.
I'm with Eric on this one. I'm probably one of the minority too in terms of liking Rob Zombie. Thinking Rob Zombie's Halloween was pretty decent. So I'm going Halloween on this one. Plus, soundtrack's a banger.
Soundtrack is a banger. I'll give you that.
Whatever. John.
On one hand, you've got Paris Hilton getting her head impaled with a pole, and on the other hand, you've got nice guy Danny Trejo getting drowned in a sink. So I don't know. It's very tough.
I was good to you, Mikey.
I was good to you. You know what? Honestly, like the more I come back to like Rob Zombie movies, the more I like kind of like somewhere in my mind appreciate that he makes people so over the top that they deserve to be killed. Like everyone is just like the biggest piece of like rapist white trash, and then they get killed. So I'm gonna give the slight edge to Halloween, just because Rob Zombie is true to being Robert Zombie.
Except Danny Trejo, who did nothing to deserve that.
He did. You know what? He went against type. All
right. Fair enough.
Upset by these decisions. We'll see about this one here. Silent Hill. Look how silent she is. And Friday the 13th, the only Friday the 13th in this decade. Brennan.
I remember playing the Silent Hill video games, and I remember the movie didn't really hit right with me. Friday the 13th isn't that much better, but I did like the updated version that they did, and I kind of hoped or wished they would kind of continue that, because I remember they left it open for more. So I gotta go with Friday the 13th.
All right, Eric.
Yeah, I have a similar issue with Silent Hill. Like I know I've seen a couple scenes. I haven't seen it in full in maybe a decade. I do like Friday the 13th. I like how it reworks the plot line of the first 4 Friday the 13th movies into one movie. Yep. I think that's great. Has a lot of great kills, and I wouldn't say like a great performance, but I like the cast. Like I'm forgetting the name of the douchebag. He does a good job. He's a good douchebag.
Trent
Van That's his name.
Oh,
yeah.
Captain Indian.
Yeah, Travis Van Winkle. That's right. Yeah, I go Friday the 13th.
All right, Steve, correct the ship.
No, I'm not going to correct the ship. I think Friday the It's really good. It's actually probably the strongest remakes in one of the strongest remakes in the 2000s. And I have to say, just like how the Deuce said, I think Friday the 13th is just stupendous.
Nah, I get it. It's the best scene in the movie, John.
Yeah, I would say only one of these movies has perfect nipple placement, and it's Friday the 13th.
Damn, everybody! All right, well, that's a huge decision. I am on the ship alone today here because Friday the 13th is just fine. Like, yeah, they got a budget now to make a better looking Friday the 13th movie than the other ones, but it's still so by the numbers, and it's just kind of okay. Although that one scene is stupendous. Silent of the Hill, Silent of the Hill, King of the Hill, Silent of the Hill. Silent Hill, I thought was actually a really decent video game movie here. I don't really know how much lore there is to the game, but as far as a movie goes, I actually think it's one of the better video game movies. Not that bar is necessarily super high. I thought this one was actually worked pretty well here. The sequel is where it falls off drastically.
I
but it doesn't matter.
Completely.
Yeah, no, the first one I think is like actually tell people to go out their way to watch it. I like the first one a lot. Jason will move on to another round. Rob Zombie's back, everybody. House of a Thousand Corpses versus Dawn of the Dead. Where we at? Eric, where we at?
Yeah. I was just watching House of a Thousand Corpses before joining this chat, and I haven't finished it. I'm just after the scene of the fish boy. So because of that scene, I'm going for House of a Thousand Corpses.
Yeah, so I don't think we should put two Rob Zombie movies in this tournament. I think we get a little Zack Snyder, a little slow motion, a little Johnny Cash infused soundtrack going on with Dawn of the Dead, and it's really good and very entertaining, and also has a great cast: Mekhi Phifer, Ving Rhames, Jake Weber, Sarah Polley, Ty Burrell, so many more that I forgot already. But yeah, Dawn of the Dead.
I was looking at high spots. Eric, what'd you go for?
House of a Thousand Corpses. Yeah.
All right, so we're tied right now, John.
This is a tough one. I think I like both these movies equally. I think just solely for like Sid Haig committing to being Captain Spaulding, just over the top, I have to go for House of a Thousand Corpses.
Okay.
I do. I'm going to tie
He's
it
right
up
there.
here.
He's right above the bracket. Look at him.
He is hanging out. What's up? Yeah, much love to Sid
staring at
Haig. Captain Spaulding, maybe the best part of this movie. As well as I enjoy House of a Thousand Corpses probably more than most zombie movies here. It still is just not totally like my guilty pleasure here. It's still just one I'm maybe on purpose not going to go back to a lot, obviously. But Dawn of the Dead, I thought was the absolute great example, unlike Friday the 13th, of a remake, of doing something different here, of having a great cast. I love the Ving Rhames connection to the guy across the street here. Mekhi Phifer trying to hide his baby zombie. Even the opening sequence as well, which they played after a Monday Night Raw one time with the first 5 minutes to get people enticed, and it really did indeed get you enticed to see the rest of the movie here. So I got to go Dawn of the Dead, which means it is this time now. It truly is up to you, Brandon.
All right. So I love the opening sequence of Dawn of the Dead. It's probably like my top 5 favorite opening sequences in all horror. I absolutely love it. That being said, I know I dogged on Halloween, but House of a Thousand Corpses was the first Rob Zombie movie I had watched, and I really enjoyed his style and whatnot. And I think the reason why I didn't like Halloween is because I love the John Carpenter version so much, and I just don't like the way that he Rob Zombie the Halloween. So it's not that I don't enjoy Rob Zombie. I know his style. I just didn't like it for Halloween. However, I am going with House of a Thousand Corpses.
Wow.
All right. I need to kick someone off and have Aaron because he's with me on a couple of these. But you guys are. I'm sorry. This is moving on.
I am a late citizen, JPO. You weren't swapping.
We are not done with the sickness, I guess.
Oh, that's how I move it over. I've been trying to figure that out for a minute. There we go. Sweet. Resident Evil, that's the first one, and Jennifer's Body. All righty. Steve?
I think this easily goes to Jennifer's Body. I think Resident Evil had the promise of delivering, but they just veered off to a different sort of connection that didn't have any resemblance to the movie except for the Red Queen. That's it. That's all we really got from the video game that got translated to the movie. It just became its own little action hybrid horror deal, and maybe the dogs are in there too. So Jennifer's Body, it's at least original. You know, it has a great cast. It has a tremendous tremendous performance by Megan Fox. No matter what you think, I think it's a tremendous performance. And yeah, let's go. Jennifer's Body.
You're mean. John, what you got?
Resident Evil is fine, but fine has nothing to do with Jennifer's Body being excellent. Jennifer's Body is like bell to bell a great movie. I love that movie a lot. Resident Evil has that cool scene with the lasers, though. Let's not forget the lasers. But again, not good enough to take out Jennifer's Body.
This is kind of close for me. But now I'm probably gonna in the end have more fun with Jennifer's Body. It's a movie that I think has actually, weirdly enough, though, at the time wasn't.
We'd all have more fun with that, JPO.
Giggle. So yeah, I'll go Jennifer's Body here. Brennan.
Yeah, I'm going with Jennifer's Body as well. I rewatched this movie just recently. A friend reminded me of it. And she's like, "Hey, you ever see Jennifer's Body?" I'm like, "Yeah, not in like 10 years." She's like, "You should watch it again." I watched it again last week. Totally forgot Kyle Gallner was in there for a little bit. And he kind of comes and goes, but he's kind of on the rise again. I remember having so much fun with Jennifer's Body. And I know it's been about almost 20 years, so let's do a continuation with Megan Fox and Siegfried, see what they do.
Kyle Gallner, the Scream King, kind of, a little bit.
Kind of,
Yeah, pretty much.
He's getting there.
Eric?
Yeah, totally. Like, this is not even close. Like, this is probably the fault of that I played the games, but the Resident Evil movies never do much for me. Like, this is probably the best one, and it's not that great either. Like, it's fine. Jennifer's Body is, as everybody said, it's excellent. It's a lot of fun. She goes both ways. I'll go Jennifer's Body.
Sorry, Mila, you're out.
Sorry, Mila.
Peepers Creepers. Where'd you get those peepers from the opening clip of Funny Games? All right, John.
This isn't even close. Jeepers Creepers is a lot of fun, but Funny Games is just a great movie outside of the genre even. And this is the remake of Funny Games too. I mean, granted, it's a shot-for-shot remake with the same director. But Funny Games is like genre bending. It's a great movie. Check it out if you haven't seen it.
Well, I'm probably gonna fuck up then, because I'm gonna go with Jeepers Creepers here. I like what it's saying and doing in Funny Games, but I'm sorry, I think Jeepers Creepers does it pretty well as well. Although the director is kind of a piece of shit.
Victor Salva is a pedophile, yes.
I changed it. Funny Games is my vote. Brandon.
I'm one of those people that, I try to separate the art from the artist, and it gets really hard sometimes, especially with somebody who does what the director of Jeepers Creepers did. However, that being said, I can't deny the feeling and the overall lasting impression that Jeepers Creepers had on me when I was a teenager watching it, and I gotta go with Jeepers Creepers, despite what the director is a piece of shit.
All right.
Yeah, kind of a piece of shit is getting him off easy. Like, I never seen Jeepers Creepers. I have no rush to watch it.
Like, it dawned on me, like, because I want to champion and vote for this franchise sometimes, and it's like, oh wait, like fuck. That's why like it'll never be on Dead Meat. They said like they just don't want to, because of the guy,
Yeah, no, I don't blame him.
Yeah, so I haven't seen it. I am in no rush to see it, so I gotta go with Funny Games by default.
Hey, Will Forte's got his head chopped off. All right, well, Steve.
Yeah, I agree with what John says. Funny Games is not just a great horror movie; it's a great film altogether. It is very genre-bending, especially with the scene that you showed. It just really took me out to another direction. And Tim Roth, Brady Corbett, Michael Pitt. I mean, there's just those, and Naomi Watts. So just those four, and the child actor hold that movie together and just keep you on the edge of your seat if you haven't even seen the original movie. Which I didn't. Saw this one first before I saw the original, and I was very impressed.
Now the first one's a remake in your mind. 1408 versus Freddy versus Jason. So Jason does make a slight return here. Is this me?
Yeah.
It's a thinker. I have fun with Freddy versus Jason, but I actually really liked 1408. I think I said before it's one of my favorite like PG-13 horror films here. It's a good, mostly one location of John Cusack. I enjoy some of the stuff that he even do in the ending, so I'm gonna go 1408. Gets my vote. Brandon?
Man, that's a really hard choice because I love both of these movies for two very different reasons. I'm gonna give a slight edge to Freddy vs. Jason just because we still haven't seen that again. Like two horror icons versus each other. Yeah, I take it back. Alien vs. Predator, but I feel that Freddy vs. Jason did it better, and I just loved the overall vibe, and I liked how they were able to weave in the two separate genres or two separate storylines into one kind of mesh universe. I just thought it was really cool, and yeah, Freddy vs. Jason all the way.
I mean, we've seen something like it on television. You have the Simpsons were on Family Guy. You know, they're both really bad dads. So
Oh, yeah,
Eric?
there you go.
Yeah. I'm going Freddy versus Jason because of Celebrity Deathmatch and because of Caterpillar Freddy, and that's it.
Caterpillar.
Freddy, Steve.
I'm gonna have to go with Freddy versus Jason because this was literally a decade in the making, in terms of how this where Jason Goes to Hell left us with, and then where we got it into Freddy versus Jason. Now could have been cooler if we had Kane Hodder as Jason? Yes.
Yep.
But the fact that they were still being able to pull this together, and this pretty much sending off Freddy Krueger in his last role as Freddy. I think this was a perfect send off for him to go. If this is his last role, besides his guest star as Goldberg. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Freddy vs. Jason because I had much more fun with it than I did with 1408.
John, am I alone?
This is a tough one too. I just watched 1408. I actually just finished watching it.
I know.
It's just like 1408 doesn't get a lot of credit as being just like it's a mean movie. It's freaking mean.
Yeah.
Freddy vs. Jason is fun, but 1408 is mean, and I think I'm gonna go against type, and I'm gonna go for 1408 here.
Yeah, I just don't want to be alone. But we're still in the minority, though. Freddy and Jason will kill another round. Hostile as the first one, taking on the Strangers. And that's not the thing where you sit on your hand and it goes up. Anywho, Brennan, I think we're down to. What you got?
The Strangers all the way. That movie, I know I keep talking about movies that resonate with me, but that's what's important for me for horror, is movies that stay with me. And there is just something so creepy about just people just breaking into your house just because they were home, quote unquote, which that will forever be the ending line. I don't care what the remake says. It was just something so real, and it made me afraid of being at home. And I can't really think of anything scarier than that. When you're not safe in your own home, that's what the Strangers did to me.
Eric.
Yeah, I'll probably never go back into Eastern Europe. I'm probably going to stay at home at night, and the Strangers kind of scary for that reason. I'll go Strangers.
All right, Steve.
I'm sorry, but I thought The Stranger was boring as fuck, so I'm going with Hostel.
Well, you're outvoted because, Hostel, again, Eli Roth's another guy. Like,
You skipped me.
Why are you skipping John?
What about John?
Yeah.
Fuck you, John. The Strangers is my vote. What do you think, John?
Well, I mean, I have the Hostel posters like right there, so I'm just gonna go Hostel.
There we go, John. There we go.
There we go. All right.
That's fine. I don't mind being on
My
the team, but I
bad.
don't mind being on a team with you, John.
That's right.
Where'd it all go?
Oh, they disappeared.
Ow. Mm.
Final Destination versus The Descent. We are in round number 2 now. Alrighty, where we at? Just Eric.
Yeah, Final Destination.
Alrighty, Steve,
Final Destination.
John,
I'm gonna go to the Descent.
and Brennan. Final Destination, Brennan.
I'm going Final Destination.
Final Destination moves on. The Ring and The Mist. Steve,
The Ring.
John.
The Ring.
Ringu will move on in spiritually. Brennan.
The Ring.
Eric, clean or not?
I was gonna. Let's make it a clean. I was gonna say The Mist, but I don't want to be alone.
What? Anyone tracking home, he voted for The Mist. He's alone.
Yeah.
28 days later, Zombieland. John.
28 Days Later.
Oh, I'm gonna just even it out and say Zombieland, Brendan.
Oh God, Zombieland.
I know, how dare we? Eric,
28 Days Later.
Ooh,
Eric, Steve.
28 Days Later.
nice.
So 28 got it right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Trick or Treat. Why is it slow sometimes? God damn, I still gotta figure this out. Trick or Treat and Shaun of the Dead. Is this John?
You.
No, it's you.
Shaun of the Dead, Brennan.
I'm gonna make a lot of enemies here. I'm saying Trick or Treat, man.
Alrighty. Eric.
Shaun of the Dead.
Nice. Steve.
Shaun of the Dead.
And John.
Trick or Treat.
Thanks, John.
You're welcome.
I think I unvoted for Shaun of the Dead. There we go. Shaun of the Dead moves on. Going to the right side.
Ooh, ooh.
American Psycho and Halloween. All right, Brennan.
American Psycho.
And Eric.
American Psycho.
Steve.
American Psycho.
John.
American Psycho.
That is a clean sweep for our favorite Batman. Just kidding. It's not Ben Affleck. House of Thousand Corpses and Friday the 13th. Eric.
Ooh, I haven't finished House of a Thousand Corpses. I go Friday.
Steve.
Friday the 13th.
John.
I'll go Friday here too.
I would have said House of Thousand Corpses. Brennan.
Friday.
All right. I'm again alone. Jason moves on. Jennifer's Body. Funny Games. Steve.
Funny Games.
John.
Funny Games.
Jennifer's Body. Brennan.
Jennifer's Body.
Eric.
Jennifer's Body.
Oh!
What?
Hell yes, as the poster behind her says.
That's crazy.
Freddy vs. Jason and The Strangers. John.
I'll go Freddy versus Jason here.
I will go with The Strangers. Brennan.
As much as I love Freddy vs. Jason, I gotta go with Strangers between those two.
Eric.
Freddy versus Jason.
Steve.
Freddy versus Jason.
Yeah, I knew that was
All
Strangers.
right. Jason's thrashing his way through this friggin' tournament.
Yeah, I knew Strangers didn't stand a chance, but I love that movie.
Whoop, whoop. A little bit.
Look there.
No more. No more. There
We
it
did it.
All right. Final Destination
All right.
and The Ring. Is this me now?
It's
Yeah.
you.
Final Destination. Brennan.
The Ring.
Eric.
Final Destination.
Steve.
Final Destination.
Ooh, John.
I would go The Ring here, but I understand.
Looks like FD1 will move on. 28 days later, Shaun of the Dead. Brennan.
Oh God. Shaun
What
of the
kind
Dead.
of zombies? All right, Eric.
Yeah, the British zombie face-off. Shaun of the Dead.
Steve.
Shaun of the Dead.
John.
28 Days Later.
And I would have also said it too. So Shaun of the Dead, big win there.
Man, we're just flying through these now, aren't we?
Oh yeah.
See how it's done?
Does, baby.
See how it's done out there? This is how you do it. All right, sorry, go ahead.
American Psycho, Jason. I'm sorry, American Psycho on Friday the 13th. Eric.
Yeah, American Psycho.
Alrighty, Steve.
American Psycho.
And John.
I'll go American Psycho here.
Yeah, I agree. Brendan's clean it or disagree?
Sorry, Jason. Clean sweep.
Clean the sweep for the Batman. Jennifer's Body, Freddy versus Jason. Who's first?
Next.
Steve Rocket.
Freddy versus Jason.
Alrighty, John.
I'll go Jennifer's Body here.
I'm saying Jennifer's Body. Brendan.
Freddy vs. Jason.
And Eric.
Jennifer's Body.
Nice.
Ooh.
All right.
Fair enough.
Nice.
You
All
made it too
right.
far, Freddy
Got it.
versus Jason.
You couldn't get to the end. That's crazy. I love how we started out, and now there's like, I love this.
Final Destination, Shaun of the Dead. John.
I'm just gonna go Final Destination. It's okay if Shaun of the Dead wins. It's fine. It's just, it always wins.
And Mike, Shaun of the Dead, Brennan.
I gotta go with Final Destination between those two.
Hey, Eric, it's got shot.
Come on, Eric. Be here, Eric.
No, Shaun of the Dead.
And Steve.
Sorry, Shaun of the Dead.
Oh,
Shaun of the
tiebreaker.
Dead takes it. What? Oh, maybe it doesn't. Well, let me take it.
Back.
There we go. There we go.
There.
Oh no.
American Psycho, Jennifer's Body. Did not expect these to make it this far.
No, I did not expect it. That's crazy.
John?
I'll go Jennifer's Body here.
I'll even up and say American Psycho, Brennan.
I'm gonna go for the underdog. I'm gonna say Jennifer's Body.
Alrighty, Eric.
Jennifer's Body.
Steve.
I was gonna go with American Psycho.
Alright, but I believe of all movies, Jennifer's Body is in the finals. Okay.
Comedy.
Sure.
Yeah.
We got comedies in the finals.
Diablo Cody, Edgar Wright. Let's battle it out.
Oh,
All right, is this me now?
Yeah.
Shaun of the Dead, Brandon.
Jennifer's Body.
Eric.
Oh. Jennifer's Body. Why not?
No, I don't like how this is going, Steve.
I know how this is gonna go, and I'm gonna vote for Shaun of the Dead. I know how this is gonna go.
Yeah, Jennifer's
No.
Body. Fuck you, Shaun of the Dead. Fuck your overrated shit. Jennifer's Body. Let's go.
All right, people are gonna really wonder what happened this episode.
Wow.
'Cause we just named
Yeah.
Take
somehow,
that, take that,
some way,
web family. Take that.
Jennifer's Body as the #1 movie of the horror for the 2000s.
Man, I'm so glad I was a part of this.
OMG. All right, well that was did not go the way I thought it was.
What did you think was gonna make it? What did you think was gonna be in the like?
I mean,
the
any-
makeup?
Shaun
but
of the
that-
Dead, 28 days later, Final Destination, all made more sense. In my mind, maybe The Ring even.
There's
I'm gonna
just a
watch
certain
Jennifer's
charm
Body
to
right
Jennifer's
now.
Body.
Damn. Maybe
All
I
right, well,
Final Destination if I thought about it.
Yeah.
it gets to the end of it. Shout out to Jennifer's Body, the little film that, hey, didn't even, I feel, get that much respect when it first came out, and has now garnered a following, so much so that it is indeed Bracket Battle's third champion here.
Guys, somebody
Bracket Battles.
somebody send this screenshot to Kyle Gowner. Somebody said,
Al Counter.
Shout out Kyle Garner. Much
Happy
love
birthday.
to you, man.
"Hey, happy birthday! It's his birthday today.
You kill it in the opening Smile, too.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Kyle."
We'll wrap up this kangaroo
That's
court, though. Brandon, any plugs or parting words for the folks out there?
Like I said, I just want to reiterate. I love the Scream franchise. And Scream 3 not getting picked hurt my heart deep down, but I had to go with The Ring. Other than that, this was a whole lot of fun, guys. I've never done something like this before, so I am more than welcome to come back. Thank you so much, guys.
Absolutely.
I love talking with other people who have other opinions that are different than mine. This is so much fun. So thank you guys very much. You guys all rock.
Absolutely. No, this worked out. If it's been difficultously, I don't know if I just made that word up or not. John, did Scream win the 90s? I'm thinking right?
Yeah, Scream won the '90s. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so no shocker there. Scream 1 did win the 90s, yeah. We kept true to the statistics there. Eric, plugs or parting words?
Yeah, I knew what was going to happen when I voted Jennifer's Body. I just like the chaos. I knew it was going to win. Because as much as I love Shaun of the Dead, it wins all the time. So sure, let's give it to Jennifer's Body. Mostly plugs. Check out the Long Time First Time in a couple of minutes, maybe. You might see me there, probably, definitely.
Well, I hope so. We've got to do stuff with you after. So, Steve.
No, if you guys don't mind mentioning, I thought there's like honorable mentions. I didn't want to, throw the whole tournament, but I thought
Go for it.
Sweeney Todd, Death Proof, House of the Devil. I honestly would have gone Final Destination 2 over Final Destination. Orphanage, Devil's Backbone, Devil's Rejects over House of 1,000 Corpses, and May. I think May should have been included. So
I did give you guys a chance to say
No, I
something
know.
in the chat. No one did.
I
so.
know. I just honestly,
I just trusted JPO.
yeah, I know. I didn't get to it.
I went by Letterboxd popularity, and then I did have to choose. Obviously, I didn't want to go sequel heavy, like have 3 Final Destinations and
no, of
all
course.
of that. So
No, I totally get it. You had to pick like the original one. I totally get that. It's just
yeah.
by the time I got to the selections that you already picked, I like literally was like just didn't really have time, and I didn't want you to like start all over again. So I was just like, let it go.
Well, I didn't even like do the bracket until today. I literally just saved the photos. I just had to save a different photo. That's why I asked.
Well, anyway,
John.
one. Yeah, there you go.
I mean, we also have to say, Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon, better than any movie we did. We even talked about. So just
that one actually must not have been very high up on the list, because I would have put that in there.
It's a underappreciated banger. It's fine though. I don't Jennifer's Body beating Charlotte is gonna keep me hard all night. Why We Love Horror. Check it out. It's another channel here, WWL Horror on YouTube. We got all your horror needs all year round, not just in October. Come check us out.
So follow all these people in their future endeavors. Stay tuned here over the course of the next few weeks. We'll do some more stuff, probably 2010s. Maybe even like do maybe like a championship bracket too of like all the finalists that made like these last few rounds. I was thinking about that. I think I might bring back picks and lists too, just for horror. That'll be interesting, I think. So stay tuned for that. And and then the channel in general too. Literally in a few minutes there, me and Brandon open show. If anyone wants to review a movie, join us just here in a few moments on First Time Long Time. And hey, guess what? I love you guys more than you'll ever know. Good night. And here's a movie not from the 2000s.